4 of my random pet peeves about living in Idaho Falls. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca. I'm a realtor based here in southeastern Idaho, and I make videos every single week talking about all things life in Idaho, tips for buying or selling, things to do here, pretty much anything under that umbrella you will find at my channel. But today, I wanted to make a video that might be a little bit silly, but it's some of my random pet peeves about living in southeastern Idaho, Idaho Falls in general. So if you're curious what pet peeves from a local are, here you go. Let's jump on in. Number 1, and this is coming from someone who loves food. I love cooking. I'm like very passionate about eating like natural and eating well, and so this is something that's really important to me. If you're not into all of those things, it might not be a big deal to you, but one of my big pet peeves about living in Idaho Falls and kind of just the surrounding area in general is that we really don't have a lot of like clean, healthy food options. Of course, I moved from a bigger city. My husband and I came from Vegas, and so obviously we had a lot of variety when it came to like natural, clean restaurants and things like that. There are really none here. One clean juice place just opened, but in terms of like more niche, clean, like marketed as clean restaurants, there really isn't a lot of options. So just something to keep in mind. Honestly, it's not that bad because we just cook at home most of the time anyway, but we do really enjoy going out to eat, and so that is a little bit of a challenge. So just something to keep in mind if you are in the same boat as I am. And kind of coming off of that, another kind of random pet peeve that I have is that I've found that locals or people that have lived there for a long time or all their life honestly do not have great taste in food, at least in my opinion. When we first moved here, we would ask people for like restaurant recommendations, and they would tell us that this place is the greatest place in town, or that this place is so authentic, and we would go there and we would be like, this is terrible. I don't know what they're talking about. So if, like I said, if you come from maybe more of like a foodie city or like places that have a lot of like really great, a good variety of food and the food is amazing, you are in Idaho here, so that is a little bit different. There are some really great restaurants. I actually made a video a while back on some of my favorite restaurants around town because I have searched through them and we have found our spots that we love. But just know, at least in my experience, the old local opinions on food cannot always be trusted 100%. So you might have to go out and do some digging on your own. Number 3, there are not a lot of gym options around Idaho Falls and honestly the whole southeastern Idaho area in general. We do have a few gyms around town, of course, but like I said, coming from a bigger city like Vegas where there's a gym practically on every corner, there is not a big variety here. So your options will be a little bit limited when it comes to the gym selection here. On top of that, I've noticed that gyms are more expensive here than I've seen in a lot of other cities, probably because there's not the variety that a bigger city has. So that's something to keep in mind. If a gym is important to you, you might have to do a little bit of shopping around to figure out what works for you and what you might be interested in. And also one other thing as a parent is that not a lot of gyms here have childcare at the gym, which is important to me because I don't really want to go to the gym if I can't drop my son off at daycare so I can get a workout in or something like that. So again, just something to keep in mind. You might have to look around or get creative a little bit, but gym options are not the most amazing here. And number 4, some of the roads are not maintained very well around Idaho Falls. I was gonna talk about how all the roads downtown right now have potholes because of the winter, and I actually just went downtown yesterday and they were working on filling all of them. So they are working on it, but there's been a few months where the roads were terrible. You could barely drive down there or in some different areas of the city. And of course, we've had a rough winter this year, so the weather just kind of makes everything a little bit worse. But just know you will probably be dodging potholes at some point in the year wherever you are in the city. But yeah, those are some of my random pet peeves that I have about living in southeastern Idaho. I'm curious if you live here or if you've been here, what some of yours are. Feel free to drop them below and I'd love to hear. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on any of this or are thinking about moving here and want some input or recommendations, as always, feel free to connect with me on social media. Drop your questions below, send me an email, whatever you want to do. I'm always happy to help you guys out. And until my next video, see you guys next time. Bye, guys.